Lulu and our 2 children relocated to Los Angeles for job offers. We looked at a newly built charter school, an affluent public school, and a neighborhood public school. I recorded home movies over the next 6 months that became part of an unanticipated larger project. Here's the tree in front of our house. See that?
Yeah, it's right there.
And there's Ann. There's our landlord.
Or the ant.
The person who rents us. Hi.
It's so funny that the dog's got a tent, you know?
Yeah. I have my coffee to go to the office.
All right, you want to have your coffee back here?
My kids every personalized deals on the things you buy most. There are new offers every week.
Grapefruit?
I just ate our first tomato.
Oh, good.
Oh my gosh, you're so big. Hi, welcome back, Eva. Bienvenidos. Volver. Does that make sense? Oh. Oh, he's so big now. Look at that big boy. Oh, he's so cute. Oh.
By the beginning of the school year, this should all be completed.
Great.
So we have a volunteer day coming up June 25th, which is the day after the last day of school.
So for the gardening and the
Yep,
fence.
they're gonna come in here and put stuff in.
That's great.
It's amazing, the community. She's going to go to Sunset Nursery
Yeah.
and try to get them to donate about $750 worth of well, first of all, she wants the owner to come out, help us design this and make it be like a living space. Miss Schreiber, I just want to say hello. Sorry, we already went in your room when you weren't there. She has a beautiful room now. But she has a lot of adult assistance. Her students have anything from Down syndrome to autism. She has, yes. So she has a lot of adult assistance because some of the kids have their own aid that come with them and so on. So yeah, she does amazing things with the kids.
Yeah, that is amazing.
But she only has about 8 students.
That's going away now, right?
No, Catholic School of Special Education.
Oh, the state.
I came down last Wednesday, I had a tour and there were 3 classes down here. The kids, some of them were sketching, others were, weeding, clean. I mean, it was just really exciting.
I love the Tibetan flag. That is really neat.
Good morning.
For kindergarten, the parents will be going to the room with the teachers, and then we will be having a short orientation after you get to see where your child's room is, and that will be across the hall in our brand new Wonder of Reading library. Okay? Padres de kindergarten, nosotros vamos a tener una orientación breve después de que ustedes vayan a la clase de sus hijos para conocer dónde van a estar y conocer a los maestros. So, después de ir al salón, van a pasar al otro lado del pasillo a nuestra biblioteca de Wonder of Reading para tener una orientación breve.
Hey.
You're catching up to us. No. You wouldn't catch that. I know you're catching up to us.
We started going to Mitchell Training. We enrolled the kids, and everything was going great. Alan was adjusted quickly. Vivian was happy and was taking guitar lessons after school. That's when the bomb gets dropped. The
bomb gets dropped, you mean the letter?
Yeah, the letter. I'm sending you this email because I'm very concerned about the future of our school. I have been informed that the district will be offering 8 classrooms on our campus to the Citizens of the World Charter for 2012-13. This will have serious implications for our school and our students.
Thank you everybody for showing up early in the morning.
Can we go around and everyone introduce themselves? Just really quickly.
Yes, let's have everybody introduce themselves. That would be terrific.
Yay!
And of course, Rebecca.
Parents of the same children.
Parents of the same children. We have that in common.
Sandra Chavez is a mom of, has been a mom of 5 Mitchell Terena children. She's been 8?
8.
Seriously? 8. She's been here for 25 years. 26 years.
Don't be ashamed.
She has, her children are now at King, but she is an official honorary Mitchell Terena parent.
I'm Lulu. David is my husband. We have 2 kids here. It's our first year. 1st and 5th grade children here.
Mi nombre es Antonieta y tengo casi tres niños que vienen aquí. Uno va a venir a kinder, tengo uno en 4º grado y otro en 5º grado.
We are against co-location of this charter school. We are pro-Mitchell Terena. We are against the co-location because we feel it will hinder Mitchell Terena's growth. As we all know, LAUSD must offer these classes. This is not something that Susanna did. This is not something that LAUSD changed recently. It is by law, has to be offered.
How were these classrooms offered if they're being used? I don't understand that.
They have to be, I think there is a description in the law that says if they are not used for an actual classroom, if they're used for accessory programs like an after-school program or special ed, physical therapy, it is essentially considered an unused classroom. I just want to say that many of the charter advocates kind of shrug their shoulders and say, you know, really Proposition 39 is the enemy. That said, you know, when bulldozers are coming to your house, you don't shrug your shoulders and say, oh, it's the law. You do everything you can to fight the law. And this is what we're doing right now. Whether or not the proposition says it or not, we are trying to save our school.
Work on enrollment in generally, that just means talking to students. March 7th, the SNLC meeting, attend it, and then we need signatures against the co-location.
Usted tiene la ventaja de hablarles en los 2 idiomas. Usted es la representante de esta escuela y entonces, si ellos no quieren venir, nosotros vamos a ellos.
Google will tell you everything. I'm not kidding. Google or YouTube, you'll find everything you need to know.
But this is like a custom problem.
Not exactly. There's a ton of really great stuff about flyering,
Like
about how to approach people, how to ask people, how to get the word out.
If the worst happens, then there's still hope.
And we can pick on the kids' stuff and then go to the
We can.
Okay, well, I gotta get really close, and the light has
This
to
is
be
a pretty
right.
good kid, really. Yeah. Cool.
So funny. It's all confusing.
Neighborhood council people who, you know, put the motion forward to get the money from the neighborhood council to pay for the garden, and
Well,
now it's
we're
a
new here.
full-time commitment.
This is our first year. I know. Do you need help? Are you guys
Oh
doing
yeah, we're doing great, but
okay.
we always need help. Well, you're welcome to come down. You want to see it right now?
Yeah.
Well,
For 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute. I gotta just call my mom.
Yeah, these flowers are really tasty too. How's it going?
Say hi to my garden. Sorry. Dude, hold it. Yeah. You might want to look out here. We got 2 flowers. So we're taping. I found a ladybug.
Hi.
Why are you taping? I found a ladybug.
Oh, just taking pictures of the lovely garden. And you're a lovely school.
Yeah.
Do you
What's
like
some
this
weird
school?
charter kids are going to take? It's awesome.
Awesome. You look
We have to share our cars and everything. We have all these different types of things. Is that a microphone?
Yeah.
Go in my eye.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh my God. Cool.
Is that cool?
Already.
You're an
This
actor.
is a good place to do all your homework.
Oh really? Your homework?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a really good place.
You like we paper homework or thinking homework?
Just homework. I want a whole bucket of coffee in here.
We'll do it slowly. It mixes in well.
Ugh, that stinks. I'm gonna plant some of these flowers and take them home, and then once they grow, I'm gonna give it back to the garden.
Oh.
Here, Brianna, smell it. No, it's gonna taste delicious.
So we got some fruit and some honey and some greens from the garden.
What's it?
I'm coming in from as fast as I can.
Almost there.
Oh my gosh.
Green smoothies.
This is cute.
Oh wow, that is a baby worm. Look at that. Look how
That's a
tiny.
baby one.
Yeah. Now which end is the front end? Can you tell? Yes, that's the front end exactly.
We got a garden on our school because our principal was open to the idea of a garden on our campus. I understand that. LAUSD has never said no to us. Whenever we wanted to get something, they said yes. Yes, it was a little bit hard, the admin, but they said yes. Our teachers and our principal have been open to changes and improving the curriculum and bringing in community resources to help our curriculum. I know this is something that a lot of parents who go to charters think about, like how are they going to be powerless in getting teachers or services for their school. I have to say, I have no complaints with LAUSD, and all the admin work I've had to do to try to get stuff on this campus, they've always said yes. Ms. Farfari has always said yes. Our campus is getting better and better. We are at the tipping point with enrollment. We're less than 300. This is something we are on the up and up. If we get a co-location at our school that interrupts enrollment or disrupts enrollment, we are going to possibly go on a downside. And I hope everyone joins us in opposing a co-location of the charter at Mitchell-Torrena campus. Thank you.
My name is Scott Kennedy, and I've lived in Silver Lake since 1994, and homeowner here in Silver Lake with my wife since 2005. Very proud citizen of Silver Lake. You guys might sense a little tension and apprehension in the room tonight, right? And sadly, it is there. We are nervous about protecting this school that we love. Everyone in this room wants the best for their children. My question is, are we doing the best for all children? And would a co-location on this campus be best for all the children of this community? And I say that it would not be. And what are we teaching our children by example if we're going to have two competing schools on the same campus? Teaching them about lottery systems, exclusivity, and separatism, to jump ship from something that is working to the new. And don't be mistaken, this is teaching by example. This is education, and this is not what I want to teach my children. What we have here is really, really good, getting better all the time. Please don't risk disrupting that by starting the co-location here at Mitchell-Torrena. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a parent of a third grader. And I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming out and showing your support. It's overwhelming to see this many people here for such a good cause, and I hope some.
Stop it!
You know, you would start screaming at us. Sorry.
Stop it! Always ask me!
Here, you like this?
Stop filming me!
I'm just getting a shot going out the door.
Let me just fix my eyebrows. It's all on the eyebrows. If your eyebrows are good.
Let me see. You look good for the school meeting. Okay, great.
No, your hair is little.
The hair.
Here.
What? What?
Stop.
Okay. You're not going to school.
I gotta go. I'm meeting her in 5 minutes. Let's go.
Who are you meeting?
After I win this level.
Babe, are you ready? Come on!
Fine!
Thank you.
I'm not going.
Come on.
No.
God, it's like so hard.
No, I'm just.
Okay. Yeah, I can't drag you over this part, pal. Okay, you're gonna have to get up. You got your shoes on and everything? Come on.
I'm coming. Wait, I'm gonna get some.
Oh. What's that? Oh, cool. All right, let's go. Oh, you forgot your shoes?
Yes.
Just everyone try to be cooperative, because that's where it's at, Alan. Cooperative, working together, so no one gets mad. We all have to work together.
Well, I get mad really.
Well, I don't think any of the we in the morning.
I think just getting up and knowing what we have to do and doing it rather than putting up a stink every morning is just, it's causing a lot of problems in the family. We have to just keep our thoughts to ourselves if they're whiny, including me.
You're always right, and you don't.
And Dave, you too, with all your grunting and groaning, that doesn't help.
Okay.
God.
Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one. Oh, I have
Dad,
one.
could you give this?
Oh, I have one.
Yeah.
Here, never mind.
Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one. Oh, I have one.
Darn it. Oh my goodness.
Well, I think they're gonna go do flyers. Yeah.
Ass! Damn!
Sorry. Okay. Okay, nice and smooth. Like a rock star. Alright, you ready? Come on out. You ready to make your big entrance?
I have one.
How you doing?
The situation that we're in right now, are we possibly one tick before this flyer, being that they haven't accepted it yet? They are, but by
But they're planning on it.
They are still
But I
considering
think it says
I'm just
the
putting it
plan
out there. I'm just putting it out there.
You know, if we have 10 rooms empty, they'll take it. Yeah, they're taking it.
There,
Yeah, them dragging their feet, we shouldn't.
Okay, let's go. You're here. Let's go.
Gotta make the right
Bye. Okay.
Wow.
Here we go. We'll see.
This one is going to Jenny. She said parking would probably be best later.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does anyone need a ride?
I do.
Okay.
Who's coming with us? I'm Julie. So you guys gonna drive?
Julie? Now, where on campus? Do we just go in the main door and?
Yeah.
I'll find you. Okay. Oh, are you allergic to dogs?
No.
Okay. I need a flyer.
Here. Here's a flyer. We invite you to visit our school, Mrs. Trina, and have coffee with the principal. We have every Friday, first Friday.
Oh, okay.
You're welcome.
I'm actually really happy with this school. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I don't get it. Why are you guys out here?
Well, because Citizens of the World wants to expand their charter and exist with our school.
Yeah.
And we're saying support your public schools.
Hey, saying I don't understand why you guys are
Well, anyway,
here.
we're making our presence known.
I know,
that's
but
all.
you can't scare the parents that are coming in.
We're not scaring anybody.
Again, I know, but I need to know right now that you guys don't have the same information that these parents over here have. They just told me, as a parent who's dropping off my child to school today, that my kid will not be coming back to this school right here, and that's not true.
I still don't understand why you're here.
You gotta give the right information.
What is it you expect to accomplish here?
We want to know we're just inviting them to our school, that's all. We're inviting them to our school.
Everyone who's here is already here.
No, there's people coming for a tour today, too. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
There's people coming for a tour today as well.
Hey, why would these parents want
To come to Mitchell Serena?
Yeah, like,
because they're looking at other schools. They're looking at schools for their children.
oh, so you're here to disrupt our tour?
Well, we're here to give information
Well, not disrupt.
about
We're
the tour.
standing outside.
You can call it disrupt, or you can call it.
Come on.
Okay.
Well, I'll disrupt
Then, let me say it like this: as long as we're being blunt, then citizens in the world are planning on disrupting our school.
According
next
to
year.
your thing, children of the world.
You pointed that out, and I've already said we've agreed on that.
Okay.
That's a mistake.
Again, I'm just pointing out. Organized. What is up?
Okay.
We wish you the best education.
I'm gonna coin a phrase that we're all well aware of, being children of the 80s. It's kind of uncool. That's my personal opinion.
So that's
Thank
clear.
you for your input.
Solo tiene excelente. Sí, pero estos estudiantes se formaron en otra escuela.
Exactamente.
And today, this is a few parents. Of all the signatures we have,
Ahora,
this is a few parents. Did we get all the parents here? They will be more angry.
en esta escuela ellos aprenden a convivir con todos los niños, diferentes razas, diferentes culturas, diferentes todo. En otra escuela es selecto.
Yeah, I know.
So that's why I was like, God, why don't you guys talk first to us and then find out exactly, because this just seemed like it seemed a little ambushy. It seemed a little occupied, and I'm frankly quite over all the occupied stuff. I had a stake in it in the beginning, but it seems like everything's becoming occupied. That spirit of and I know.
But you have to understand, we have this lovely little school that's trying to come up, and then all of a sudden, just because we've put in the work of painting the front and getting some
The garden, it's beautiful.
the garden, and now
Yeah.
suddenly they want to come in and use it because it looks nice now and it's up and coming and it's in a good neighborhood.
Right.
Well, guess what? That's not acceptable. So we're frustrated.
Yes.
And we're scared.
Good evening and welcome everybody. Bienvenidos. This is our third lottery ever for CWC Hollywood. And so the way it works is that siblings of currently enrolled students who applied, as well as children of founding parents, up to 10% of the total class, are accepted and exempt from the lottery. So you're not going to see them pulled this evening. You will see their names posted when we post the list momentarily. T 2012-017. $463.
Okay.
Is Vivi here too?
Oh, yeah. Well, now this doesn't go into that one. Now, does that?
I have that too.
I think I might have one of those.
It takes a village.
Yeah.
But as a village, we're getting it done.
Cool.
Well, you can play the movie on this.
This film was made by some people that are dear friends of mine that live in New York, and it was made in response to the film by Davis Guggenheim, Waiting for Superman, which was a film that essentially was a propaganda piece. It was an advertisement for the charter industry. And this film actually, point by point, factually discredits that film. But the reason we're seeing it here tonight, of course, is because New York City was the birthplace of the whole concept of co-location. And so they've been dealing with co-locations for well over a decade. And you'll see portions in the film where they literally relegate the public school portion of buildings into the basement by the boiler rooms, you see. And this is something that was, you know, when Prop 39 started here, we already had this harbinger of what was going to be our future, and we're starting to see that, of course. You know, Cheryl Ortega and I documented what happened at Logan with the Gabriella occupation over there. So I hope you all enjoy the film, and I hope it really inspires you. I have a lot of respect for this community because it's been really, really, it's been energizing to me as an activist to see the degree of dedication that you love this school and you love your community and you love your children and you're trying to do what's best for your community. And I think that this will give you some ammunition to talk to people about why co-locations are wrong and why charter schools are wrong. So thank you for coming out tonight.
In 2010, movie director Davis Guggenheim's Waiting for Superman opened in theaters nationwide.
You have a crisis in public education.
The corporate reformers touted in the film believe that charter schools are the magic silver bullets to overcome the challenges facing our education system.
Okay, we're going to Scott Hamilton's house in order to make a plan. So kind of the core group of people who are interested in doing this.
So we want to make people understand there's this great club of involved parents and citizens who are working their asses off to make this school awesome for you guys.
We have to really consider that our overall goal has always been and will always be increasing enrollment.
Exactly.
So if this ends up being a 1-year bump in the road, we make sure it is only a 1-year bump in the road because we stuck to our main mission of increasing enrollment.
Which is increasing
enrollment. And we have to remember that.
You know,
Right.
press, can we go on a quick stop?
Well, no, on the positive note, I mean, I only got involved because I knew about the positive stuff that's going on.
that's
I know
great.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
I hear about the schools threatened, and I got involved. So,
Yeah.
other people will what can I do?
Yeah.
First it was show up at the meeting, then it was like, what else?
So what was the big thing in the meeting?
The big thing in the meeting was kind of going over basically tactical points. And it actually was a highly productive meeting because a lot got figured out. That still needs refining. Basically, I said I'll do the writing. I'll find phrase the points of why we don't want the charter, because that hasn't been really stated clearly. And we went over issues.
Oh, so you're going to write the text?
I'm going to write the text on that.
The philosophy?
Yes.
Really?
And I actually, because I came up with some of the philosophy, I said it's a civil rights issue. He jumped right on that. What's his face? Scott, and he's like, yeah, civil rights, yeah. And he's really, really bossy. He's like, all right, everyone, we gotta stop. He's good. I mean, he's good that way. Like
He's an organizer.
Yeah, he knows how to like show people.
What about the special ed issue? Did you bring that up?
I said, is there any way we can gum up the works by putting in our own proposal right now, anything relating to special ed, this and that. And they said it's all too late for that. But if they do get in there for 1 year, that's exactly what we want to do for the next year. When they try to renew their lease. Well, they can come out, I think. We're showing up at their board of directors meeting. We're invited because it's open to the public, but no one's expecting us to just show up and badger them with questions and, you know what I mean? And I don't think it's a very big group of us tonight. I think it's only going to be 4 or 6 of us.
How many people want to be at CWC?
I have no idea. But I'm going to walk in there with the camera and have to greet them, so I'm
You
scared.
might want to take this microphone off. And so it's not so
I like the microphone.
professional.
Because it's kind of like...
It's not like I'm with a news station.
Right.
You know?
Oh, she's coming. Hurry,
I'm going to shoot you. That's what it comes.
hurry, they're waiting. Yeah, sure. Hey, I'm sorry. I can't get it.
Hey, how's it going? Here, I'll get in the back.
Can you come over with your sister now?
Hey.
Hey, how's
Hi,
it
good
going?
luck. I wish I could join you. I got to go teach. I'd much rather go with you guys. I mean, I'd love to bring my students, actually. Hi, good luck.
Hi. You're testing for your karate thing?
Yellow belt.
Are you a yellow belt? I'm not.
Oh, he must have been
Rebecca's daughter still has strep.
Sorry about that.
Hi. Nice to meet you. This is my husband Jordan. This is Lulu.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Great. Well, this is us.
Do we want to talk about what we're going to say, or we're just going to
think about it?
I want to thank all the additional members of the public who are here to join us today. I wanted to just make a quick couple of notes before we begin.
Can you tell me your name?
The first is that this is a meeting of the CWC Hollywood Board of Directors, and I'll say my name in just a moment, which is separate from the CWC LA board, and that we hopefully will be completely merged in the near future. But that board, CWC LA, is actually the board that has jurisdiction and will be voting on the potential co-location with Mitchell Terena. This is the CWC Hollywood board, and this board would have jurisdiction and would be voting on the continued co-location here at LeConte Middle School.
Is it Crane? Rebecca Crane?
Yes. If I have questions, can you answer my questions, or is that something that you can't do if it's not? So if I ask you a question and you can't answer me?
Not unless it's a board item.
Thank you for having us. Congratulations on your baby. My name is Rebecca Crane. I am the PTA president at Mitchell Terena. I am a pediatrician at Kaiser Permanente, medical director of the newborn nursery at Kaiser Los Angeles Medical Center. I also hold clinic in family medicine. I'm also involved in Friends of Mitchell Terena, and I'm here to just put on public comment and represent Mitchell Terena Elementary School on the topic of the proposed co-location of Citizens of the World Silver Lake co-location on our campus. But I know at some point you're going to be involved in the corporation that expands here in Hollywood, and as well as looking at schools in Brooklyn. We feel like our goals and abilities to educate children would be better served if each school was on their own campus.
Jordan Crane.
Hi, that's me. It would be best if we just didn't get in each other's way. You know, you guys are growing, and we are growing. A co-location at Mitchell Terena might help the CWC school in the long run. It might. Might not. I don't know. It definitely won't help Mitchell Terena. It will really harm our upward momentum. Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you for listening to our comments.
You're welcome.
All right, on to number 3, which is the board review and action on draft minutes. We're going to have one more public comment. This time it's from Lulu Perry.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, I too have a parent at Mitchell Terena, have 2 kids there. First year there, 5th grader and 1st grader. And I got kind of behind this movement. As soon as Susanna Fafari, our principal, mentioned that this was on the horizon, a charter co-location issue, I pricked up my ears. It intuitively sparked my interest. And I think the reason why it did was because I'm not going to speak specifically to to Citizens of the World moving into Mitchell Terena, but a larger issue at hand, which is the slow privatization of public schools. So that's why I'm here today, not just for my own kids, but for all of the kids out there who need a public education. And I think it's pretty well documented, and it's going to be further documented, that the charter movement, if we may call it that, is chipping away at this very flawed institution, admittedly, but it's such a necessary one. I think we can all agree that public education for all is the greatest civil right that we have. When you take that away and when you privatize it, which I think charter does in its own subtle way, because it's a confused topic, what's public and what's private. Corporate interest is involved, and corporate money and private money and so forth. So it isn't a public institution. I do oppose the co-location. I want to put that on record. But I also want to caution people who are involved in charters and growing charters is that the tide is coming toward you, and it's going to be halted. Prop 39 will get overturned, and I think things are going to change a little bit. People don't want you to take away public education for all. It's the poor people that lose. So we got to protect them. and protect our country by doing so. I'm done.
All right, now let's do a motion to approve the minutes.
Dropping this off. Oi. He's out on the corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great. I offered to help him, but he said it was better for one person. You know?
All right. We'll see you.
Good work. We'll talk later.
Okay, yeah, tell Luke. Is Lulu still planning on going roller skating?
Tonight?
Yeah, I imagine she's pooped out.
I bet she'd like to go. She loves roller skating.
Oh, well, she mentioned it a few days ago,
The next few songs right after this will be optional couple skate.
The thing that really sings to me is Louis Armstrong. And his sister's for sure beauty and wins for me, you know? This is my new antidepressant, my new Xanax. When the world gets a little going out of squatsy on me, I go for Louis Armstrong nowadays.
That's director Mike Mills talking about the track Basin Street Blues. Music helped him break out of his shell as a teenager and has influenced all of his work since. You can hear
yeah, they are. Whose house is this?
Jordan's, remember?
Alright, so if Bobby's, you just go down to Marathon and then make a left.
Okay.
Hi, Jordan.
Get there. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Surreptitiously recording.
Well, yeah, right.
He's got a kid going into school, right?
He's got one in school. Ethan.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
What grade is he in?
Second.
Okay.
Dave, you might have to put your chairs. Hey, Bobby, how are you?
Hey, great.
Hi.
Good.
Hey.
I always try to use Google instead of thinking, and always end up having to think.
I'm not alone, thank God.
They'll perfect the algorithm.
I hope so. This thinking business.
Does all my thinking for me.
But it's surprising just how many people there are. You know, and so it's you know, instead of just doing Google searches, you know, hopefully we'll go downtown, meet a bunch of like-minded, you know, people, and then the Facebook page for the just opposition to Prop 39 co-location will serve as a, you know, to bind everybody, you know, who's interested in it.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, that's at least as a starting point.
I'm wondering what the crowd's going to be like there.
Yeah.
How many people we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could go either way. I mean, it could be, maybe we'll get there and go, oh, and so there's like 40 people in this city that agree with us.
Yeah, we'll take them.
I've got a hearing problem too.
But this movement is just starting, you know.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be in good shape. Once this is all over, let's just sit down and talk. Or if you want to talk now, we can talk now, just briefly. But it's really good for you guys.
Actually, I mean, if we've got time, we might as well just talk now, and then we can all go home and have a nice hot supper.
Right. Okay, I got you. Typically, students from a low socioeconomic class perform worse than others in general, just certain demographics. And what's happening is that charters know this. Right. And as a result, students from much affluent, much more wealthier backgrounds somehow make their way in. Now, charter schools are still funded by public money. They need to serve the general public with skewed demographics that most charters have. How can they possibly use public money and at the same time get a facilities grant to operate? One thing that you guys have for you, the charters don't have, is numbers. They have money, and they have lawyers, and they have political connections, but with everything, they are still limited in terms of numbers. We fought basically an asymmetrical war. Like asymmetrical warfare is basically termed as when you're completely outgunned by a superior opponent, what do? These guys burn through thousands in legal every week to fight us. And all we had were our cell phones and computers and everything. You need to get together with other schools such as ours, and we need to combine resources. I mean, this is such a huge learning curve for me. You need to get people who are willing to hit the ground with their boots. You need to get people who are willing to write emails, pound the pavement, get signatures, do petitions, phone calls, emails, you know, lobby your local councilman, lobby your local whatever. That is your first line of defense.
You know, that I just feel like I don't like that idea of them coming onto somebody else's campus.
Mitchell Terrena has a 25% special needs population and a lot of English learners, and we do not look good on paper. Our API scores don't look good because, I mean, it's very interesting that the special needs students are tested at the same at grade level.
Well, that's a whole other and you can blame somebody else for all that testing.
No, I understand.
Undue pressure on teachers.
No, I know, and that's a whole other thing. But what it results in is schools like ours, which do place a very high value on our special needs students. We end up looking like we are really doing a bad job because our API scores, they don't look very good. But without the API, without the special needs students, and without the English learners, it's not a public school.
I got
Wait, are they going to talk about your middle school converting into high school?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And you say it's now listed as, what's the school? Your school is listed
The
as?
California Distinguished School.
Because it's a charter school.
No, because of our test scores. We're an exceptional school.
But it is a charter school that helps do that.
Yes.
Oh, great. Hey, thanks. This is about the charter school?
It's agenda item 6, so I don't know where we are right now. I can probably.
Well, what is it about in general?
It's about New West trying to relocate to right next to where uni is. They're trying to expand their charter school from a middle school to a high school, and part of the issue has to do with traffic because the neighborhood community members feel that it will generate a lot of traffic. And so the people from uni, they were concerned about how some of the people from New West, some representatives allegedly said defamatory things about our school, and it concerned us, and that's why we said,
we are a very modest part of West Los Angeles. We are not NIMBYs, we are not arrogant, and we are not wealthy people. We have a lot of apartment dwellers, and we have affordable apartments in our area. We have a park that has had improvements because of Quimby funds that came because of the development we've sucked up and the apartments we've lost and all the traffic we haven't had. And that park and that high school are of our neighborhood, and we don't get anything out of this deal, and they come in and they're going to use all our facilities and have priority, and that's just wrong.
I think the whole charter school movement has a lot of promise, but if we, in a few occasions, start to not provide that equity that would guarantee public education, you could screw up the whole charter school movement. I think those are some issues that we need to look at.
To assure that the neighborhood interests are protected, it is imperative that New West secure all necessary approvals, signs all required documents, and fulfills all mitigation and conditions before issuance of a certificate of occupancy or temporary certificate of occupancy. In other words, you can't go in there unless they do what we're telling them to do. With these concessions and requirements in place, and vigorously monitored and enforced, I'm confident this project will contribute positively to the immediate neighborhood, the West Los Angeles community, and the academic enrichment of the next generation of Angelenos. Thank you for your hard work and consideration.
I was just telling Robert my phone likes to change the settings. And did you hear it? It's been on mute all day and it just made a little sound.
I know, I hate that.
That's why I said I'm not even going to bring it in because it'll start making noise.
Let's start getting ready to move into the studio. Thank you, Michael. We have about 1 minute before it starts. And you put on your headphones. Please try to share the mic.
Phone's on. Phone's on.
Well, welcome to Politics or Pedagogy. We have a full house tonight. We have a lot of people in studio talking about some very important issues. You may have heard about Proposition 39, and Proposition 39, I think, Robert Skeels, you could explain to our listeners what Proposition 39 is. Tell us about it.
Sure, thank you, John. Prop 39 was a bond act that we passed 8 or 9 years ago. And at the very, very end of the legislation, there was some language snuck in by the California Charter Schools Association to force districts to provide space for charter schools. And so initially, it really kind of, the voters didn't realize what they were voting for, because they thought it was merely just a bond act to provide funding to build new schools and to relieve overcrowding for the public school system. But essentially what it's been used by the California Charter Schools Association is a way to leverage their way onto campuses and displacing the public schools.
And now joining us in studio, and our other guests will come back when it's time to answer your calls. The guests are from Mitchell Terrena Elementary School in Silver Lake.
For me, the main concern of the co-location was the principle behind it. The law that made it possible for a charter school, which to me is a private entity, to make a claim and a request for public space. And public education was created to be public. We all agreed that when we built the buildings and these beautiful structures and created the unions that protect the teachers and hired the educators to develop the ideas over many, many decades and even centuries, and to quietly and insidiously undo that through legislation. I definitely think there's a problem there.
Charters were initially proposed as a way to innovate, as a way to allow enough freedom for people to try different approaches and philosophies of education, and then to be able to stick with them over time, because school boards come and go, and sometimes every time you get a change at the top, you say, well, we're no longer doing that program, we're doing this one, and so that lack of stability. So there's a good rationale for charter schools. I actually have co-founded a charter and work with some charters that try to innovate. But it is also true that in the accountability context that we have today, charters are less likely in many cases to take high-need students, as you said earlier, and there's research on that. They tend to have less representation of English language learners, less representation of special ed as a sector, although there are differences across. And there is a problem in general of creaming and cropping. The largest study on charters that was done at Stanford University showed that about 17% of charters outperform public schools serving similar students. About 37% of charters underperform public schools run by districts serving similar students, and the remainder do about the same. So there's no clear panacea that says if you are a charter, having that governance mechanism is going to ensure that kids are better educated. In 83% of the cases, kids will be educated less well or about the same as if they were in a district-run charter school. So, I mean, district-run public school. So I think these are complicated issues, but there are no silver bullets.
What year from Temple?
78 with a doctorate. Yeah. I started, in education.
I'll drop you a note. Thanks.
Okay.
Great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is like filming the filmer.
Filming the filmer.
Yes.
Super quick. I'm totally going to be quick. So I'm just going to shoot up.
Yes, that's right. We're going to get the court papers to see if they've done anything illegal. And if they have, we're going to cold hard bust them.
Location.
So that's it?
This is it. Somebody's watching us.
Ooh,
Proposition 39.
So they legally have to give you document their meetings and stuff.
This looks like, wow, boring. But there's the Citizens of the World Charter, something or other.
See that?
Is in receipt of the LA Unified School District's preliminary offer regarding the charter school's request for facilities under Prop 39. The district's preliminary offer is for 7 teaching stations and 1 administrative space at the Grant Elementary School and 8 teaching stations and 1 administrative space at Mitchell Terrena. You
They've been offered it
motherfuckers.
already?
I don't quite understand it, but it sounds like something interesting. I think this was something that as I'm not mistaken, the WAG Pops people in New York said we should do. Request a copy of all of their correspondence.
What's the acronyms stand for? Flag Pops.
Williamsburg and Greenpoint Parents for Our Public Schools.
Great.
Yeah,
Go
they're
check
very
them
cool.
out. Yeah. Cool.
Can I at least just have the sword? Oh yeah. I don't need it. Thanks. I want it for thing.
All right, so this is the article I'm supposed to be writing, or the press release.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who they want to send it to, but maybe even, they'll probably try to send it to the LA Times. So. I've never done this before, so this is really hard. Okay, so here goes. It's not done yet. This is rough.
Mm-hmm.
Did this at 3 a.m. last night. Local public school, Los Angeles. Mitchell Terrena Street Elementary School principal Susanna Ferfari had feared it might come to this. Now the 107-year-old Mitchell Terrena Street Elementary School is in a race against time. The relatively small K-6 school, which is located in the Artie Silver Lake neighborhood, a friend to local businesses and neighbors who in turn are good to it, is an inherently pleasant and warm school, replete with shiny floors, broad cheerful playground, murals, and a new organic garden for both the students and the community. Academically, however, it is a school that is just getting off the ground. The results of resourcefulness, energy, and a lot of creativity are just beginning to bear fruit in the form of a rising API score, more involved parents, a new dual language program due to start in the fall. But Mitchell Terrena has, on the western side of their small campus, 2 short rows of bungalows built in the, what year? When the apartment buildings around the neighborhood bustled with families, many of which are now replaced with hip single people and couples.
Well, why don't you put that in there?
Because I have carpal tunnel, my hand hurts so bad. I hate typing it.
Oh my God.
It's murder.
But that's the essence.
But I don't want to suggest a solution just yet. We'll get next. My mom said write another article. The follow up. Write more. This could be the first. Okay.
So okay, where are we? What page?
Nationwide should be put toward the end,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like an overall statement about that. Hey, we're going to back up here.
Mm-hmm.
People in this country have looked at charters. This is what they've come up with, and between Bobby and February 22nd, we will say many of the parents who are looking toward charters are enrolling their children. Maybe be kind of stupid. You're kind of stupid. You should listen to some people here. So we want to say that. That we send our kids to because they're trying to be taken over by a charter school.
So you don't want it to be?
No, because there's like kind of 2 camps in education right now. There's public school people and there's free market education, which is kind of disguised as charter schools. And the parents who send their kids are sort of unwittingly contributing to it. They don't really understand what it's doing because there's this thing called Prop 39.
Well, thank you for the flyer.
All right, thank you.
Have fun. Bye.
Oh, I'm Lulu. We're right here.
More signatures. Where's Alan?
He's at home. We should have brought him. I didn't know you were. She's the lady of the hour.
So someone is here from the Prop 39, forgive me if I'm missaying this, LAUSD office. So I'd like to at least make you known, and we can utilize her as a point of reference. Hold on. Because we have a full agenda. Normally we do 10 minutes total for an item. Now we've doubled that. It's likely going to go even longer than that. We're doing the best we can. So we're giving 10 minutes per side.
We have a whole agenda.
We have a whole agenda. This is not the only thing on the agenda. So again, hold on a second. So we're gonna go down this route. When you have a question or comment, if you would like to say something, then we can do that. Okay? So.
This is a neighborhood close to my heart. When I found out I was going to be principal here, excited is not the word. I felt like this is a community I know, this is a community I love, and I was so proud to come to this school.
We had a request from one of our board members that we have another town hall type meeting so that we can discuss this and maybe we could come up with other alternatives also, locations.
No.
If you do have another meeting, are you going to allow the parents to speak? Because in the last meeting, nobody was able to say what their concern. Okay, that's why I'm asking you. If you guys are offering another meeting. No, you're not. Well, you see, that's the problem.
You need to vote tonight.
That you don't allow us to speak.
We vote for you, and you need to respond to our vote.
And all we're asking
You're there because our votes.
And again, I think the advocacy that's being brought up is that we have another opportunity to let all the parents speak. That is what is being proposed.
The parents that cared enough are here. The other ones are at home. We're here.
Good evening. My name is Wendy Rodriguez, and I am a parent of a child that came here, and she's still attending this school. The reason why I opposed to this proposition is because I came to this school. This is my school. I was born and raised in this area. I have 3 children, 2 of them which already graduated from this school and passed on to the middle school that I went to. And I would not be satisfied by sharing this campus and not allowing my own daughter to experience all the experiences my other children had and myself in this school.
7 minutes.
I am so sorry for the charter school that wants to come to this school, but this is not a place for you guys. This is a place for just Mitchell-Torrena community and for our students and our teachers that have worked very hard to have the school that we have to this day. Thank you very much for your attention. The Silver Lake Neighborhood Council moves to support the efforts of the Mitchell-Torrena Elementary School administrators, teachers, parents, and children to stop the co-location of Citizens of the World Charter onto Mitchell-Torrena's campus. Silver Lake Neighborhood Council support of Mitchell-Torrena community efforts to stop co-location does not reflect an opinion on charter schools in general, but applies to this case in particular.
Is there someone who seconds the motion?
I've seen that it can work, in my opinion, but this is a case where the host school feels very uncomfortable, and I can understand why they would feel endangered and threatened. And it is our concern, I think, to not just foster experimentation, but also to protect those who are experimenting. And I do see it as being simply a hazard, and I don't see how we can countenance that comfortably.
My question is the law always right? Was slavery right? Was it right to beat Rodney King? Was it right to evict and destroy the South Central Garden? Is the law always right? So I'm looking at Prop 39 and I'm asking the question, is this law right? And I'd like to proceed based on what we already know, which is a constructivist model. What I know is an innate sense of what's right and wrong. And I don't believe that non-consensual relationships are a good thing. I don't think it's right to proceed when someone says, no, please don't touch me.
I know for sure that the problem here, from my point of view, is that one of the players, which is the host school, doesn't have a voice in the proceedings or the decisions. And the reality, as I understand it, is that the decision is between LAUSD and the charter, and the school, Micheltorena, doesn't have a say in it at all. And I'm very happy to see you all here empowered to be heard. Thank you.
The request was made for 8 classrooms plus 1 administrative space. So 9 total for Micheltorena.
They actually requested 15 classrooms. They are being offered 8 here, plus 1 office space, and they are being offered 7 at Grattan Elementary School, plus I'm not sure if they get an office space, but I just want to say the total request was 15, not 8. That is correct. There's a large number of requests in this particular community. So it's very likely that if this school was not being offered to citizens of the world, that it would be offered to a different charter requesting to operate within this community.
But not this year. Here, the SLNC moves to support the efforts of the Micheltorena Elementary School administrators, teachers, parents, and children to stop the co-location of the CWC charter onto Micheltorena's campus. SLNC's support of Micheltorena community efforts to stop co-location does not reflect an opinion on charter schools in general, but applies to this case in particular. All those in favor of this motion, please raise your hand.
We gotta get more signatures. We gotta get like more than 2,000 if possible.
Yeah, we'll have to get more.
There are 1,000 signatures, 1,100 already.
So I'm not going to change your mind.
No,
I respect your views.
Let's get it
I
on the
respect your
record.
views. I respect your views.
I will show you on the record that it's that I'm right.
No, we're not having a conversation. You're just coming at me and you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No, you were going to tell me,
okay.
you're going to give me the evidence that you guys reached out to the principal, and I'll give you the evidence that you guys reached out, that they requested Micheltorena. Is that fair?
You're welcome to talk to the CWC administration and contact them directly.
I've tried, they haven't communicated with me. That's what I'm telling you. You told me that you were going to find.
No, I didn't say that. I was going to
there was open classrooms, and therefore
I was telling you.
You just told me.
What the.
I thought you. No, seriously, I thought you just told me you wanted to find out if it was true.
Please don't put words in my mouth. That's not what I said.
Okay, so you don't want to find out if CWC communicated with the principal.
All right, you have an agenda. You're not listening to anything I'm saying. You're putting words in my mouth that I did not say.
Was anybody else standing here?
You got a guy with a camera here. I get it.
I'm very passionate, but did I not hear him say that he wanted to find out if the principal?
I admire the passion. I don't admire your tactics. So, I'm done. It's obviously this is not the situation we would choose. We didn't choose Micheltorena. We wanted to start a charter school in this area.
Right.
And when I say area, I mean the Silver Lake, Echo Park, East Side region. Yeah. This is a standard process. They go through every year. They've been going through this, I think, for 10 years now, ever since Prop 39 passed.
Co-location.
So there's charters all over. There's charters here in the Silver Lake, Echo Park area that are co-located. I'm a strong proponent of public education in every way.
Yeah.
And my whole thought process with the charter thing is, here's a way to introduce in a public forum, available to everyone in the area, a different educational approach, a different curriculum, a different way to achieve the goals that we all have, which is educating the children well.
Parent Lulu Wilson wrote this essay, which she originally intended to be a press release on behalf of many Micheltorena Elementary School. Hold on one second, baby. Elementary school families and community members, several of whom are quoted extensively in the piece. The Silver Lake Neighborhood School is bravely resisting the specter of co-location by CWC Charter Corporation under the auspices of Prop 39. For more on Prop 39, check out KPFK's John Cromshaw's interview of me, which aired on March 31st, 2012. Ms. Wilson's exquisitely crafted prose leads me to think we may be seeing more education articles from her in the future. To wit, her brilliant construct, non-consensual co-location, which I took from Charlie. I just want to thank Charlie, was actually the one who said that, and I actually thought of, I wanted to quote him, which is the most vivid and veracious, and I'm really feeling bad here, description I've ever heard in regards to Prop 39.
What?
And it wasn't even mine. But I had the wit.
Congratulations.
It's already 36. What are you doing, Charles? I'm telling you to come on.
How about a brush teeth?
You probably can get high def on your phone as well.
Yeah.
Such a good singer.
Trying to set the wind from a sail.
Oh yeah. Alan, draw what? Kind of worn out, but
This one's gonna be really fun to draw.
Okay, whoa, don't touch anybody with it. Now, hey, Millie, put it in everybody's face. Come here and let's put it on a graham cracker.
Can I have it with beer?
You can have it with beer.
Nice. You're welcome. Brought to you by CWC.
I was paid by CWC.
Paid by
I'm a bit drunk.
CWC approves of this ad.
Well, but the start is very interesting. They say like
He's around here somewhere. What are you doing with Silver Lake Consumer Service? Doing anything?
So right now there's about 6 or 7 schools that we're trying to get free books from, and then we're hoping that the school board member may be able to pitch in some money. The next thing though I want to say is that the district did come out with a final decision that they are not opening any programs that cost money unless the school pays for the program cost itself. That's finalized. So el distrito ya hizo su mandado que dice que no van a abrir ningún programa que cuesta dinero, solo si la escuela paga por el costo de empezar un programa. So I'm going to let you know that the approximate cost for each dual language classroom, because we need to get the books in Spanish, is $10,000 per class. So we have to come up with $20,000.
Attention, please. The House is now open. The program will commence shortly. Please, no food, no beverages in the auditorium. Thank you. I will now remove my carcass from the doorway so you can proceed in.
And your word is ahimsa. Ahimsa.
Can you give me a definition, please?
Okay, so that was incorrect. So now Ms. Farfari will have to perform the challenge of Principal Panch's liking.
I would like you to the song I Feel Pretty to ballet dance.
You are.
Would you like me to hold anything for you? Your scepter, your cheek?
Or singing. Yeah.
I feel pretty.
Well, I don't know if it's quite a lawsuit. What they've done is they've reported her basically to LAUSD. And now DC is going to investigate her and punish her, and basically threatening her job. And they also said that she wrote a letter of opposition to DC, which she says is not true. She didn't.
Oh, so she wrote this? She sent the letter out to you?
She sent the letter out to everybody, yeah, and then got everyone was commenting on it, blah 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 blah, and said. So it's a very complicated issue.
Really?
Very complex, because you're talking about, subtleties, and like the Trevon Martin case. I mean, the Trevon Martin case. It's like, who's the aggressor and what comes from. I mean, when you set up a stupid law like Stand Your Ground or Prop 39, I know, but I'm just saying. I was just watching. There's all kinds of discussion about. Was Trevon Martin standing his ground? And it's all because of the stupid thing that they put in the first place. You see, none of this would be even happening if laws made sense for people, and laws should be there to protect people and make sense. And that's where a lawyer on our side might have something to say. They got so much money behind them. Not CWC exactly, but like beyond that, their money is over there.
The movement,
it's not over here.
Avenue those people want to travel, they can draw in money.
I just don't know who's going to listen.
Yeah.
Who's going to care. It's like there's no one that cares about it, that's in power. The only people that care don't have any power.
Somewhere in Prop 39 it says, I guess no LAUSD employee is allowed to use time or resources to either encourage or deflect or oppose charter. I guess, yeah. And I was like, how is that? That's in the law? Like, so that's why we want to get a lawyer, someone to look through this law and be like, where is this language that says this? Yeah, this was not her warning that she was going to get moved. This was an official statement, so if she continues, and she said she's not going to continue. She says they are most likely coming. So
they got 6 classrooms, right?
They got 6 classrooms.
6 bungalows? Is
6
that right?
bungalow classrooms. And she put in an integrated offer, so we'll see how much they like it, considering it's going to be integrated, lunches and recess.
Oh, it is integrated?
Yes, it was an integrated offer.
From LA. Oh, so therefore some of the noise that you and everybody's been making has been paying off, in other words. An integrated offer is better than a separatist offer.
Well, that's what Susanna wanted to offer them. And
so they went along with that?
Well, they haven't accepted officially.
Well, that's a great offer, isn't it? Aren't you happy with that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, yeah, integrated. You guys like our school. Like, as they said, they really love our school so much that they can't come here, but so much that they want us to accept their charter from this national corporation who is using startup funds for schools to support its activities.
Let me think why you would look for someone else, do you think? Or
I don't know. I'm just, now that I am switching gears from charter fighting, now I have a huge to-do list of stuff that needs to be done for the school, and we need to have the leaders who are for next year very involved. And so if you think you're not going to be able to do it, I need to start looking for another person to do it. Now that said, it might all be a shared thing, but
Well, let's have some talk about what the difference is in PTA with the charter versus without, in terms of what you think. Like, what are things? How do you think it's going to go differently? Does it mean it's going to be extra work in a certain area or less work in a certain? I mean, I don't know. I think it'll just be annoying. Yeah, I think it'll be just kind of. I think it'll be just kind of a bummer that we have a festival and they'll be there.
It's okay, Marissa. It's honestly okay. Okay, so key things to know. Because we are a public charter school, the state of California mandates that when there are more applicants than there are spaces, we do exactly what we're doing here tonight, which is a public random drawing.
52.
It's like 365.
All right.
Don't even worry about it. Just we'll do it later.
Thank you for your patience. Are we ready to go now?
Yes.
Ready. All right.
236. That's good.
Years ago, when the school began to get overcrowded, they put these bungalows in an area, and the fence is because of the ramp. You know, it's like for safety. You know what I mean? But it actually serves now as the visual sign of two entities, you know, on the same spot. So we're walking up the ramp, and one of my little first grade girls, she says like, "Hi, you know, so and so," and it was they had been kindergarten colleagues, you know, and now they were in different schools as first graders. And one of the teachers from the other side, she goes, "Shh," she said, "We don't talk to Logan." You know what I compare it to? It would be, say you rented an apartment, and you went to bed one night, and you woke up in the morning, and your landlord said, "There's these other people going to move into the living room because you don't use it at night." So they're going to live in the other room, and you can share the kitchen and the bathroom. You know, like, that's what it feels like.
Right.
That's what it feels like. It feels like invasion. It feels like...
Let's find out where the parent and staff.
Let's just go in and know it. Okay, we'll stay for 10 minutes, okay?
Should we avoid now?
Definitely the next year, and for right now, we're talking about just in this year.
The work you've done.
Correct. Yeah. So, and just as a reminder for process, there's speaker cards there if anybody wants to fill those out, and
This is public speech.
Sorry to their board is our board, plus their people,
Just fill it.
new board.
come in later. Board composition.
So, for my part,
Yes.
I will continue to watch the cast.
Fundraising was a huge one, just thinking about how can we be more aggressive. Also, the fundraising figures that we've added, that we've worked back into the budget reflect a $1,300 per student goal, and that's with the higher number of students. So adjusted for the 264 students instead of 252. So that brings up the amount of the fundraising target from 325,000 to 343,000.
Yeah. So at this time, I'm going to invite public comment again, since people have come after to move forward. The first person is Lulu Wilson, parent,
Hello.
who joins us.
Good evening. So again, I come to your board meeting, and there's some faces here I haven't seen before. I'm a parent at Mitchell Terena, school where you are going to co-locate in the fall. And I just want to put it on the record again, so everyone is perfectly clear that we are still opposed to the co-location. We feel intractable in our position because we feel that there is a wrongness there. When, and the wrongness doesn't lie with you so much, it lies in the legislation of Prop 39, which allows for these kinds of transactions to go on that are perhaps sometimes beneficial, usually beneficial, but in this particular case, and in many that we've been researching over the last few months, really are not beneficial. And this is something a lot of people want to turn a blind eye to. The difficulty for the public school to thrive in the face of charter co-location, and in the face of proliferation of charter schools in general. Charter schools, as you well know, started off as kind of an eclectic and small numbered amount of schools that weren't a threat to public education as a whole, but that is dramatically shifted now to where somebody like myself, who had at one time no vested interest in this whatsoever, has now a part-time job on our hands of bringing this to the attention of the general public. Let's see. So we just want you to know that even though you've accepted the offer by LAUSD to co-locate, we want you to know that our position remains the same. To have a school come in, put up a sign, put up a fence, we have no say in it. I think you can all probably understand why we come to these meetings, and on a beautiful evening we'd rather be at the park with our kids. But alas, we cannot, because of the corporate legislation that is Prop 39. And your guilt is in taking advantage of this law that is wrong-headed and destructive to many children whose lives you will never touch or know about. So, thank you.
CWC Hollywood is already behind chain link fences. Come with me and imagine for a second the place that the lawyer is asking for. A place where there are two campuses side by side, where the children of the privileged and generally lighter toned skin are separated from the less privileged and generally darker toned skin by both a chain link fence and a security force. The whole thing is paid for by the state, and this is completely lawful. Parents and administrators, board members, I'm asking you, is that the world you want? Are you working toward a place here divided along the lines of class and income marked by security forces and fences? That's exactly what is requested in the letter from the lawyer who represents your interests. Are those your interests? What are your interests? Are they being represented? And if they are being represented, at what expense? Thank you very much for your time.
Any other public speakers? You know, it's not an arbitrary number in terms of the percentage of different populations we're looking for. It's actually based on the demographics of the neighborhood. That's what's the mission of our school, is to represent the neighborhood. We don't have a priority for anyone in our lottery, as certain funding streams don't allow you to do that in the early years. But we'd always be reevaluating if ultimately we're having trouble meeting our lottery targets. Do you want to speak to the specifics of the offer?
I mean, I think what the district responded to was generally appropriate. I mean, there's some issues around some of the shared use facilities that I think there's some ongoing conversation on, particularly around the use of the kitchen in some spaces. Other than that, I think it's a matter of whether the space is appropriate when you see it.
All right, thank you again, members of the public, specifically those who share your comments. We appreciate it. And I'll close the meeting at...
Move to adjourn?
Yeah, I'll move to adjourn. Do I have to vote on that? I'm gonna move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have the evidence? Tell me where
You know what? I can have...
because you're off, you're in the meeting now. So I just want to know where the national, there's a separate national nonprofit, right? Where is it incorporated?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles? Okay. How come I couldn't get anything from your lawyers about the...
I can put you back in touch with the attorneys, but I'm not actually...
But, you know, when I asked, they said there's no public documents that are that responsive to your request. So the thing I said, I was asking about the national board. I know there's a national entity because you guys talk about it all the time.
Happy to talk to you about this outside of this meeting. So if you
The
want to
meeting's
connect
adjourned,
back,
so
feel
technically.
free to connect back over email. I'm happy to. I want to be available to you.
But you did incorporate in California.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for your time.
Ready? 1, 2. Uh-oh. Let's start over. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
What are you doing, Francis?
I'm looking over here.
Oh, the garden.
Yeah. They have a lot of nice flowers here.
What's that?
They have a lot of nice flowers and vegetables here.
Lovely.
They grow tomatoes and kiwi. And also flowers. A lot. Look how many flowers they grow.
A lot. Beautiful.
And sometimes bees and other insects come here. Last time when I went to see it, I thought it was open, but it wasn't, and there was like a beetle. There was like a beetle, it was trying to get something from one of the flowers. There were two, one right there and one right there. I saw it.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey!
Okay, you guys ready? Let's go. You can't feel your legs.
Exactly what I was talking about. No, I got your feet on this side. We have gotten slower over the years. Find your that's right here. Oh, my goodness, you can be
Let me show you the song that remember this one? I'll show you that. Okay. I'll go 1, 2, ready, go. Nice, that was good. That's it right there. All right, let's try the second part. Ready?
I like this
All right, here we go.
Lovely. Very nice.
Good evening, parents. Good evening, students. Welcome to the second annual Michitorina Got Talent. We're gonna start in 1 minute. In 1 minute, so let's have the audience quiet down and let's enjoy the show.
My name is Luisa Ruelas, and I'll be the MC also for this evening. Our performers have been practicing very much for this performance, so I hope you guys enjoy. So enjoy this performance that all of our performers have been practicing for a long while. Thank you.
So they are going to open a school, K1, 2, 3. Kindergarten and first will be at Grant Elementary, and second and third grade will be here. So the bungalows will be used, and I don't know if they're filling up. They got 6 bungalows, that doesn't mean they have to use all of them. But those are their rooms that are reserved. If they have extra space, they can use them for whatever they want. What will happen is November, is they will put in their offer for how many rooms they need again. And they will request the sites that they want. You figure that they need 15 this year, and then next year they're gonna move those grades up and then add on kindergarten.
Right.
They will need more rooms next year.
They're totally in the driver's seat. We have no say or control over what they request in the future. And like at Logan, which I know is kind of a
different situation.
It's a different situation, I realize. But it shows what a charter school is capable of doing.
Are people feeling bitter that CWC is coming here? Are people feeling like they want to do something? Yeah, let's talk about that. Are people feeling like...
Si se sienten molestados todavía, como ella dice que sí, que no le gusta.
They might have events that they want. Let's talk a year,
Right.
and we don't want them to have their events that we're not involved with. We want to. And somebody tell me.
No.
Somebody tell
See,
me
I disagree with that. I personally am because I'm at max. I can't work anymore for anybody. Like, I am totally at red line. I can't do any more work for this school and
For someone else.
Well, no, but I mean, like, if suddenly the work I'm doing for this school is split in half in its effectiveness for the school, like if I'm half helping Mitchell Terena and half helping CWC.
It's not CWC, it's all for the school. We're not going to do an event that's going to bring money to the CWC
Well, what I'm saying
corporation.
is if it's being directed by them, if they're like, hey, we're going to have an event where we're going to raise money for both of us. Makes me uncomfortable.
But guys, I want to talk about how we want to represent ourselves.
Right.
We are in the driver's seat over what we control. Right? We control how we conduct ourselves.
That's true.
We control how we conduct our school. And I'm sorry, Lulu, I don't like the energy of saying we want to make them feel a little uncomfortable. How do you want to have house guests in your house? Do you make house guests in your house feel a little uncomfortable? I know it's not the same thing, but I'm saying
These are uninvited guests.
we want to control who we are as people, right? And that's why I'm saying we want to be open and we want to be honest. Are we protecting ourselves the entire time? Absolutely, in the best way that we can. But I don't want us to be people, and you tell me something differently.
Creo que va a decir por qué, pero eso es lo que dijo.
Y le puso un ejemplo él de cómo se sentiría si llega un amigo o algo.
Aunque los amigos no están
Si lo enfocamos en ese punto, tiene razón él, pero también vamos a que si a nosotros nos está afectando, pensemos en cómo les afecta a los niños. Ojalá y que no vayan a llegar al punto ellos de decir, esto no quiero que los niños de esta escuela se relacionen con los niños de la que está aquí, que los maestros no vayan a salir con cosas así porque psicológicamente les va a afectar a los niños.
From what I've heard, their parents, I think they're a little bit afraid of our kids for some reason and think that our kids are gonna...
They're afraid of public schooling.
Well, I will again know whether we are on or off the list by end of October. If we're on the list,
then
it will be probably the same charter. There's usually no change in charter.
Well, what do we do to defend ourselves if we're on the list after we're on the list?
There's nothing we can do.
That's what I was saying.
Right, but that's not good news.
Right.
No.
So what are we doing now to defend ourselves?
Again, I'm working behind the scenes. You can continue.
So do you want to go? Are we going to go to this thing, Lulu?
No, I don't think so.
You just said you wanted to go. Okay, I have to go and do it. Okay.
If I had a little more, if they'd give it a little more public notice, I might have prepared a statement. At a $450,000 loan, interest-free for 5 years for their Silver Lake location. I don't know where the loan's from.
That's what we don't do. So we're going to go to that?
From LAUSD.
Do you want to go?
It's at 6 o'clock. Can I go?
Sure.
Vivian should go.
However long you can be on the meeting. Be on the call.
Hi.
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 You all know me. Hi.
And there's seating right there.
Oh, okay. That's pretty seating. Thanks.
Yeah. And here are agendas.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you calling him? Oh, perfect. So on our agenda, and I'm going to do a copy, but we're going to jump right to item 4, which is board review and action on the loan agreement to accept an interest-free $450,000 startup loan from CWC Schools to CWC LA
for the launch of CWC Silver Lake to be repaid over 5 years. And there are copies of this here for anybody who would like it. I know that you all had seen it when I emailed stuff out for the special board meeting.
Amy, I know that I want to recuse myself from this. Should I actually recuse myself from the room?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not
So I'm,
Okay.
I'm going to leave.
Hillary is recusing right now,
And
so
I'm
I'm
gonna
going
go
to
step
note
outside
that.
with my sweater.
Thank you. Okay.
The whole thing is just depressing. It really is depressing. It's just depressing because it's, you know what it is, it's kind of like fascism coming, it's like fascism moves in waves, and we're back to and it comes up and it evolves too, and it morphs and it looks different every time it pops up, and this is a form of it. People never recognize it for what it is because it's so insidious.
But if CWC stays, and because you'll know in November whether they're going to come back the following year. Are you prepared to stay in that school with Alan? Have you thought about that? That's all I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm prepared to stay. Hoover Street, right around the corner from you. 90029. Okay, thank you so much. Very happy to hear that. All right, bye. Thank you, bye.
She's in the environmental.
She's in
Really?
environmental studies magnet.
How do they select?
Because I got points because I applied early.
Oh,
Because
really?
I applied pretty much. I didn't think I was that early, but I applied before the date. But I think maybe a lot of people might leave it to less. I mean, it could be other factors. She said LAUSD decides, and they tell them who's coming in. But at Vivi's, it could be like even ethnic issues, But I don't see. Magnet schools are different. I don't really know. She said it's a very complicated process, and they don't really even know how it's done. Okay.
At 3:00.
3:30.
And you guys are gonna run. I went to Staples to try to get paper for you, and they didn't have the price of the paper.
What paper? No, I'm not there for paper.
White paper. No, I just thought when you go there, because we're out of white paper for drawing and stuff for the kids.
No, we got tons of white paper. Don't ever do anything like that again.
Okay.
We have paper.
Keep me waiting to give me something that I don't even need.
I have a bunch in my desk.
Yeah, with the holes on it. We have a bunch of that.
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Hey, you want to bring your water bottle? So we don't have to.
It's in the car.
Okay.
So you're gonna go pick up stuff for the meeting.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pick
Cool.
up stuff for the meeting, and then go to the meeting,
Yeah.
and then.
Good luck. First day at the job.
Well, it's not a job.
The Prez.
It's only a job when you get paid for it.
Well, who knows? Maybe you'll
It's
be
volunteer work.
head of education for the United States.
Oh yeah,
Secretary
that's
of
coming up right next.
Secretary of Education.
Secretary of Education. We created a new role for you. It
Okay.
doesn't even exist. Vivian,
Bye.
can you bring the cooler, huh?
Oh yeah. Bye.
For
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
later.
Bye, Dad.
Take care of the boys.
Don't put the AC
I will.
on. So what?
I won't put the AC
Well, if
on.
you do put it on at like 79.
Yeah, I'll keep it low. It's definitely going on. Today's a scorcher.
No, it's not as hot as yesterday though. It's only gonna be like 95.
But he's the nicest guy.
Yeah, people do that here, though.
I'll go over that with Moreno.
Well, I'm so excited. This is going to be a fun year. I have a good feeling.
I'm just going to do it.
If I can just get from work,
So some, Mr. Kaiser's district doesn't have a lot of magnet schools inside of, in particular, the southeast cities. So once we get the pros and cons, what we
Gee, I don't look on the table over there. Is it over here?
Which I think is a
There it is.
different teams working together.
I want somebody to hold your hand across the street. Just call somebody to come and get you.
And then how do we,
Oh, good.
prioritize
Great.
based on the various needs across this huge system?
Sure, keep waiting for Warner though,
Sure
pool.
that on the way we're making certain that enrollment at that school is preserved and expanded.
Okay.
We're also finding a way to make sure that magnets are universal.
I agree with you, and that was in the motion. As a baseline, we've achieved the magnet.
Where's Vivi? Oh, good. Thanks.
I'm really grateful for that. What the judge has said, what the Charter School Association asserts, and what the judge has now confirmed, is that we should offer classes on a much lower class size basis, essentially creating 2 tiers of students at one co-located site. And the last time I checked, Superintendent, that there are federal civil rights implications to creating a 2-tiered system at one public school.
Some of your children are going to have to not be able to go to their own local school, get on a bus, because they're going to want more space in our schools for children who don't necessarily live in that community. That changes the ball game, and I know I've had several schools where they want us to destroy a parent center, and that brought parents into the school, where they want to take a computer lab because it's not being used every second for daily instruction, but it's used by students every day, when they want to take a psychologist area that we put to do IEPs and have privacy. And yet, as I look at every other district in the state, the 1,100 districts in this state, I don't see the Charter Association going after Beverly Hills. I don't see them going after any other district but the one who's helped them the most. And what I say to them is, hey, let's help us work with our children. You want to have your program, we're going to support you every way we can. But I've got to tell you, I will not let a youngster who lives next door to a school have to go to another school because they want to expand at that particular school. It's wrong. It's wrong. And I'm really disheartened that the Charter Association, the people that we've been the most friendly with, the most helpful with, and literally giving them signals on how to do things so all of our children benefit, that they then took the knife to our heart and sued us. Give me a break. What is this world coming to?
Tell you to do that. You can come back and do them later if you want. They're non-fasting tests. Okay. All right. Take care. Okay. Bye. You are. Say it again.
How many years have you been here?
I have been here for 7 years.
Wow. This is your last day right now?
This is my last day in family medicine. And then I'm going to urgent care full time. So yeah, I have 3 more patients today.
Am I bugging you being here?
No.
Sure.
Yeah, no. So yeah, so I just wait for the blue paper to come, so I don't have anything right now. So I can just sit.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So I hear CWC is not coming back. Is that official?
That is official. They changed the locks on the doors.
I didn't know that it was official.
Yes, it's official.
Will the bungalows come out? Will they be taken out?
Okay, so the bungalows are not scheduled to come out for a while. And I believe it's not until spring 2015. But since we don't have a charter for the year 2013-2014, and since the bungalows are scheduled to come out spring 2015, they can't be considered extra space for the next year. So we might have dodged the charter co-location bullet. I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what time, but they kind of imploded. They seem like their organization seems like it's imploding, and you know, I think we thought that would probably happen, and that was one of the reasons why we were so not pleased that this particular charter was coming to our school, because what we knew about their background, and with the background of Wonder of Reading, we thought these are not, these are some shady people with some shady, or it appeared shady, and their tactics of calling our parents every day in the first few months and trying to get them, you know, calling them and telling them they should switch to CWC and trying to recruit parents away from Mitchell-Torrena, you know, it's just, that's
Win-lose stuff. You know,
that's some bad blood to be spreading around on the school that you're co-locating.
Did they give a reason why they I heard that their contract was not renewed. It's the same with Stoner, that they were in effect they were closed.
No, they didn't resubmit their contract.
They just didn't resubmit.
Yeah, because of the pressure.
So it was the opposition.
It was the opposition.
You know? And then they turn around and say, yeah, see, public schools are no good. This is
right,
better.
But what they don't understand is that one charter school doesn't represent charter schools. It just represents that one charter school founded by some people, administered by some people, taught by some people, and has no relationship at all to any other charter school.
Right.
Another charter school could be complete crap, like CWC is.
But you get my point, though. They're looking for anything that says, oh, there's a hope for my kid.
Right, but that's the article that needs to be written. Hey, when you hear about one good charter school, you should probably go to that one, not just any charter school, because any charter school is not good.
Right.
Because they're all different.
Well,
so that's what I like about public education. It's standardized.
Right.
You know what you're going to get.
Right.
You know you're not going to get any bullshit. You're not going to get any religion. You're going to get your reading and arithmetic and your science, and you're going to get your basic boilerplate education, which is exactly what they should be doing for people. If people want to go above and beyond that, then go to private school, or accent with extracurricular, or better yet, rally for programs in your own school, because there is local money involved. It's as simple as that, but they should not be privatizing public education, letting private companies take that money and individually run schools competitively. I think it's a terrible idea, and I think it's just going to destroy. No, all it's going to do is alienate people even more. Oh, no pancakes.
The deluxe is come with pancakes.
Okay, I guess we'll get that. We had that bottle of water last night. Any idea?
Nope. I think it's in the
there
house.
It is.
Oh, got it?
Oh, God.
Napkin? Here you go. It's kind of a used napkin, but it's a good one.
Sticky fingers? That's the problem with syrup, right?
Thanks for the napkin back. Gotcha.
Well, wait, you're going to take them in.
Oh, I'm taking him in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I put out an email today to all our friends.
Oh, about that you're going to this?
Yeah, I said if anyone wanted to go. I said Dave and I are going to shoot it. In other words, come on down and you can be in our movie, dummies.
But Scott wrote back.
Scott wrote back. He's the only one. Yeah. He's kind of sweet that way.
I love him. I really think he's a doll.
I know. I like people who are just different, Now, I believe we...
guys to stay on that side. We're trying to hold our protest right there. So we'd appreciate it if you give us our space to voice our concerns. Thank you very much.
Oh, we're with you guys.
You guys are with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm ready to kick you guys out. Okay. Oh, you guys are the ones who could talk.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I don't.
They were at our school last
Because we
year.
had them this morning, they were trying to get in our crowd, handing out flyers, and then people got confused because they thought, "Are these flyers with you?" And it's like, "No, no."
Right. No. We're with you guys.
Okay.
They take other place?
The Delray Neighborhood Council va a votar para apoyar nosotros y ponerse en contra del charter. Vamos a necesitar gente allí para que ayudan al council a entender qué es que la comunidad quiere. It's almost pickup time for CWC, and we want them to know that we're going to be here, that we are here, and that we're not going away. Stoner yes, charter no. 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 Stoner yes, charter no.
I thought you pick up those papers.
I'll go get him.
So I think you have to look at a community-wide approach where you involve parents and you involve the community and you say that public education is not about who sends their kids to the public schools. It is the responsibility of the entire community. What I would love to see happen at the national level is to see the people who have the big bucks. And the only people, frankly, on the side of teachers and principals in public education is the unions. Nobody else has the money except the unions. I would love to see them go after some of these activist foundations or activist nonprofits and say, take away their tax exempt status. What grounds do they have that tax exempt status when they're advocating for legislation? That's illegal. This movement, this pushback can't rely on me. I'm very honored that I have the opportunity to be a voice for people who are being beaten up every day and who are doing society's most valuable work and being underpaid for it. But there have to be more people who are prepared to step up. And there will always be somebody, and I don't know who that person will be. Maybe it'll be Lena Darling Hammond. Maybe it'll be somebody else. Maybe it'll be Anthony Cody. But we must develop the leadership so that there are many leaders across the country. There have to be leaders in every community, leaders in every state, and people who get it, who understand that we need not be defensive, that we are fighting a powerful corporate takeover of American education, and it's wrong. It undermines the foundations of our democracy. It destroys the morale of the teaching profession. I can give you chapter and verse about the number of people who are not going into teaching because of all of these attacks on teaching. And all of this is coming from the far right. And what is most disheartening about it all is the fact that the Obama administration is sitting by silently either abetting it or just being quiet. Quiet in the face of increased segregation. Quiet as charters are rapaciously push public schools out of their space. Quiet in the face of the proliferation of for-profit charters, which is absolutely crazy. It says, when have we ever had for-profit public schools in America? Charters are not public schools. And I keep saying this again and again, because every time charters are brought into court, every time they've been brought before the National Labor Relations Board, every time there's an issue about the charters, their defense is always, we're not public schools. Why should we be bound by the same rules? They're public schools when it comes to getting the money, but they're not public schools when it comes to obeying the law, because they claim they're not covered by the law. They're private corporations.
monkey on my back, gone took my breath away, put it on its back, swung off and carried it away. But I'll not be needing hope no more, 'cause my will took one step, and furthermore I'm here to stay. Put your